You don't get to extract a ransom for doing your job, for doing what you're supposed to be doing anyway, or just because there's a law there that you don't like.
The president expressed outrage that one faction in one house of Congress is ready to bring the entire federal government to a halt. And here is our shutdown clock, counting towards midnight.
Tea Party radicals have done the unthinkable. They've shut down the federal government.
They'll say it was the mean old Republicans or the Tea Party or Fox News or maybe even George W. Bush. They shut down the government, and now they're praying the American people will think somebody else is responsible.
The paychecks stop coming. I'm going to have to dig into my savings to pay my mortgage, pay my bills. My daughter's in college.
Everything's closed down. I'm a little disappointed in Washington. I can't even get a lemonade from the stand because everything's run by the government.
2 weeks down the drain. Going to Utah, Colorado National Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, Mesa Verde National Park, Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park, Yosemite National Park, Redwoods National Park, Crater Lake National Park, all shut down.
At times like this, the American people expect their leaders to come together and to try to find ways to resolve their differences. The president reiterated one more time tonight that he will not negotiate.
I've said I am happy to have negotiations with the Republicans and Speaker Boehner on a whole range of issues.
Well, this isn't some damn game. The American people don't want their government shut down, and neither do I.
Tourists, it's true. Now there's nothing to do.
Now, while this timer right here represents the fast approaching debt ceiling, so you set that and then ignore it.
As reckless as a government shutdown is, the economic shutdown caused by America defaulting would be dramatically worse.
What the president said today was, if there's unconditional surrender by Republicans, he'll sit down and talk to us. That's not the way our government works. Thanks, everybody.
I want to encourage Americans around the country to come together and to visit the memorials and visit the parks and come armed with a trash bag and a rake.
Shouldn't we be embarrassed about this? Shouldn't we be ashamed?
Enough is enough.
Obamacare is really, I think, the worst thing that has happened in this nation since slavery.
And yet what we saw across this country. Ma'am, thank you for being here. I wish you would participate in the democratic process through speaking respectfully.
Mr. Speaker, why were the rules rigged to keep the government shut down?
The gentleman will suspend.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think
the chair will now entertain.
Democracy has been suspended.
The gentleman will suspend.
Thank you for being here today because we, the people, are determined to show the United States military, our esteemed vets, that the size of the heart of America for our vets is immeasurable.
What should we be looking for in terms of how the economy and the stock market might react to this?
I think you're going to see a lot of fluctuations between now and Thursday, which is the big kind of limit deadline day, after which things get weird.
I'm so happy, believe me, I'm so happy the Statue of Liberty is open in Iceland,
There have been no decisions about what exactly we will do.
I know the role of the Speaker. I saw a Speaker who didn't have the votes.
I think our nation needs this ceremony today. In moments like this, Americans like Will remind us of what our country can be at its best.
Today they will also see Congress reach a historic bipartisan agreement to reopen the government and avert a default on the nation's bills.
After yesterday's events, the Majority Leader and I began a series of conversations about a way to get the government reopened and to prevent default.
This is a terrible deal.
Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the journal stands approved.
I've got a simple message for all the dedicated and patriotic federal workers who've either worked without pay or been forced off the job without pay these past few weeks, including most of my own staff. Thank you. Thanks for your service. Welcome back.